Hello, my name is Dr. Christina Euban, and this is December 14th, 2023. I am recording this video today specifically for the students who took a course from me this quarter at a university I teach at. However, the message is relevant to the larger community of higher education and students currently engaged in higher education. So I decided to make this a YouTube video. So this is representing my thoughts and only my thoughts and not representing the university for which I work. I want to share with you the experience from September to today, December 14th of 2023, with teaching a large online course at the undergraduate level and asking undergrads to not engage in AI tools throughout the quarter and not integrating them into the course. Back in September, I was open to the idea of using AI. I'd already incorporated it into a class I taught in the spring of 2023, but it was a smaller graduate course and much more manageable. With a large 400 plus undergraduate course, I couldn't execute the same kind of strategies I did in the spring in a large course. It took too much bandwidth from the human. So I decided, after consulting many different colleagues, to ask students to not use AI in our course because it is an intro 101 level course. And there are essential paper writing, logical step taking, citation formatting skills that these students are interacting with for the very first time, and they need to learn it before they use tools like AI. So what happened this quarter? This quarter, we had the full range. We had students who did not use AI and did great. We had students who did not use AI and did not do great. We had students who used AI and did okay, and students who used AI and the hallucinations, the stigmatizing language, the copyright without effectively citing the work, very much looked like plagiarism, academic dishonesty, and really hurt some of the students in the class. So we saw the whole thing. If I could rewind time back in September of 2023, I would have spent week one teaching students how to effectively leverage AI tools. And I would have taught them an analogy, since we are located in California, about using the highway, which we call the 5. You can take it all the way from San Diego up to Seattle, and it'll get you there as quick as you can possibly go by vehicle. However, if that is an analogy for your entire undergraduate career, and the Highway 5 is an analogy for an AI tool, that using that will get you there faster. However, what about your colleagues in your cohort who stopped and got off on the Pacific Coast Highway and maybe camped overnight, hit up Monterey Bay and Big Sur and other Montecito, other gorgeous towns along the way? When they arrive in Seattle, what will their undergraduate degree, experience, and training and knowledge be like relative to the students who really relied on AI? It'll be dramatically more human. There'll be more experience, more depth of experience, and also maybe some stops that they didn't get much out of. However, is it ethical to take the 5 all the way up when you have never traveled the Pacific Coast Highway before, if our learning objective is to understand the coastline from San Diego to Seattle? And I think this is the question that us as higher education professors and teaching faculty, we need to really address this now. And I wish that I had started week one teaching students how to use this, how to document steps, and incorporated AI in my pedagogy. So now flash forward, how did I handle the final essay after banning the use of AI, seeing, hundreds, a few hundred students use AI despite the ban, not having any tools to hold them accountable and any of these things, and know that their learning was suffering? Well, for the final, I decided on a Sunday night with a colleague of mine to collaborate, we tried to make a AI resilient essay question. So by Sunday night, AI gave us this response when we asked it our question. I'm sorry, but it's not possible to provide a policy proposal without addressing actions or strategies at the individual, interpersonal, or community levels. Policies typically involve interventions at multiple levels to effectively address complex issues. If you have any other questions or there's a different way I can assist you, please let me know. Okay, great. So now these students, 440 students, have to go in and they're going to look at their AI technology and they're not going to be able to use it. Well, I was proven wrong. Within 24 hours, what happens when you have 10 weeks of training with intelligent undergraduate students, specifically to think on multiple levels of our society beyond the individual, of what is historically considered an individual level issue, that when you train them on these ideas for 10 weeks, and then they all go use AI for the most part, AI has a huge opportunity to train that day. So in the morning, AI had learned how to very well answer this question. By the afternoon, it was doing an even better job. And as the final students pushed in some of these final submissions, we started to see weird hallucinations, things that are not fact, they do not exist on the internet. And AI started to say some things that were not true. So what happened is when we went to go grade all of these essays, some were excellent, slam dunk, especially those who did not use AI. I will note that. And then the ones that used AI, depending on what time of day that they used it, did pretty good to really great to, oh, those are false, flunk, fail. And because it was a final exam, it was worth a very large proportion of their final grade and would have drastically dropped down their final grade, as a lot of these students are coming out of a COVID era high school experience and did not get appropriate training in the quarter in my class as brand new university undergrads entering their undergrad career. I took responsibility at this giant experiment of trying to ban AI, and checkmate, AI beat us to the punch. So I'm dropping the essay from the final grade and relying on the standard multiple choice and matching section as the final. And the essay is going to serve as a feedback tool for all of them and for me to share this message with all of you as higher level educators, that we really need to understand that students are using AI, whether we agree with it or not, no matter if you want to roll with it or you're resisting it, it is here. Students are using it. Industry is investing in it. Industry businesses are laying off people by the hundreds already. It's only going to get more intense in 2024. And we are losing task-based jobs that can be replaced by AI. So what I want to ask all of the students watching this is, by the end of your undergraduate career, do you want to have given AI a lot of opportunity to train with you? In other words, do you want to work for AI and then ultimately get replaced by AI in the workforce after you graduate? Or do you want to take those pit stops on the Pacific Coast Highway and actually engage with the material? And do you want to learn how to make AI work for you and give you a huge competitive edge in the workforce? For all of the educators, how are we going to communicate to the students when taking the 5 highway up to Seattle is appropriate? How do they do that? When is it okay? When is it not okay and they absolutely must get off on the Pacific Coast Highway? When must they camp 1-2 a week overnight? What essential skills have they already gotten? Which ones can they skip? I know I'm a Generation X. We had spell check, and a lot of us aren't super great at spelling. And the spell check definitely didn't make us dive deep into the origins of the spelling. And in the origins, there's history and a deeper complexity to the words we use. Some people in our society dive into that history and that complexity, and we need those people. Do I, in my job, need to understand the origins of all the words that I use to do my job? Not particularly in my line of work, but I do need to know that that is a factor that I am not diving deep into. So this quarter, I do feel like it was a giant transitional era, with AI really making a presence in our higher education, to the point where we no longer can just tell students that they no longer can use it. It's hard to police, and it's giving them a disadvantage in the workplace, ultimately in the long run, and they're using it anyway. And we don't have a good alternative or workaround. So I think we really need to communicate as higher educators when we can and cannot use it. How do we use it? How do we cite it? And make sure that we collaborate with it. So AI really impressed me this quarter, and I have completely decided to embrace it, is my personal stance today. I do not know the future. I do not know if this is a good opinion, but this is my best thinking now. So 3 takeaways that I learned going through all of these essays that absolutely the major majority were AI assisted. AI resistant essay questions don't work in large courses. You can train it very quickly. What is beautiful about that is it has the power to learn. There is now a wonderful answer that AI can create, minus the hallucinations and stigmatizing language in it that we need to work on. But in one day, a large course with intentional effort created enough opportunity for AI to learn in a very productive way. So now anyone around the world can get that from AI just from our one course. How cool is that? Super powerful. We need to learn how to use this to be part of that change in a harmonious and productive way. At the same time, there's a fear to it. Some angry dude in his basement could be creating loops in a day and potentially have the same impact that our class had, right? So AI is as safe and productive and beneficial as the intent of the human users. So I'm not here to endorse it and say it's all good or to throw all caution to the wind, but we definitely did something with our final exam this quarter. And I think it's worth sharing our experience. Number 2, in higher ed, I do believe it's the responsibility of the educators and the students to be very intentional about the way we use AI. Otherwise, we will be working for AI. We want to use AI so that it can work for us. And that is something that us as higher educators need to start making roadmaps and start talking about this intentionally in our pedagogy. That's also something that students need to respect and honor if you are going to go through your undergrad degree and get the depth of education that is required that is associated with that degree being issued. So it is up to the students and the faculty to really understand how we're going to integrate that. And I'm here to say that that time to integrate is now. And many institutions have already done this. And if you're a part of an institution that has not, this is something that we all need to work on together. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.